Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. Joining us, a smiling Devashish from Guwahati. Behind him, I can see Shubman Gill, who's no longer in the squad, and Tema Bavuma. Also, is a bewildered Trisha Ghoshal, wondering what I am saying. But let's talk about Team India. Trailing by 480 runs, a mammoth task ahead of them. Yashasvi Jaiswal, KL Rahul, no wickets lost. That opening partnership is still on that crease. Huge task ahead of them. Day three, we are already into day three. It's the moving day. What I see personally is maybe a draw happening. It will be very, very difficult for the Indian batting lineup to go ahead and get a result from here. But Devashish, before we get to talking about the game, why don't you tell us about the crowd? Day three now. I know South Africa have taken the upper hand, but how is the crowd reacting? Are people coming in now that India is batting?
The crowd, I mean, obviously, it was a very disappointing day for the crowd. The amount of people turned out just to watch India bat, but they literally saw only 7 hours of batting from India. So it was one of the biggest disappointment, I would say. But obviously, India will have their chances. It's the cricket is very slow, so there will be runs for the taking. The question is whether India will be aggressive in their approach. Aggressive, I mean, whether India will show that positive intent, try to move the match ahead. Because India are left with no other options but to win this test match so as to level the series. But to do that, India needs to not only score that 480 runs which they are trailing by, but also take a lead. Even a 100-run lead will put South Africa under pressure, given that they have three spinners. Kuldeep, Jadeja, and Washington Sundar will be more effective in the third innings compared to what it was in the first innings. So clearly, whether the Indian batters look to play with a positive intent, India definitely has the potentiality, has the talent. They have the batters in the likes of Yashasvi, KL Rahul, Dhruv Jurel, Sai Sudarshan. Obviously, it will be a huge challenge for him. Number three. So let's wait and watch.
Absolutely. Trisha, how do you see India's approach after this? Do you think they will take on an extra aggressive approach, or do you think it's still going to be a Yashasvi Jaiswal who will try to go a bit gung ho, KL Rahul anchoring the innings, and the rest of the batters batting, around him?
Yeah, I think India has to stick to that pattern. In this pitch, see, it's not a batting pitch. So while if India wants any result in their favor, scoring runs in brisk pace is the only solution. But the kind of pitch it is, the thing is because there aren't heaps of wickets falling, people aren't understanding that even this pitch is difficult. The ball is going to grip, it's going to be slower, it's not going to turn probably, but today is third day, so I think I expect a little bit of turn, but more than turn I expect it to get slower. And that way, even for example, the outfield will be much slower with the amount of fog that Shamikda has. Shamikda and Devashishda, of course, are there, and they're sending us pictures where there's a lot of fog. So the outfield will be slow. Brisk pace is not even possible. I don't think more than 2.5 will be possible. See, there you go. It's cloudy. It's foggy, not something that's going to bring in rain, but of course it's going to be overcast conditions, and um, there will be a little bit of help in the first hour, more than a little bit of help I feel in the first hour for the bowlers. So you're absolutely right. I think KL Rahul in the first hour, I repeat again, will I repeat this like a broken record in every single match, that KL Rahul is the most important wicket in this test lineup. And I will repeat that again today, because from here on, I completely agree with Gargi. I see two results mostly possible. Either Indian batting collapsing and South Africa winning the test match, or there is a chance of draw from here on to score 480. And look, you cannot just score 480, you have to get another 100 runs to push South Africa back. So that is telling you around 700 is 100, 580, 650. Roughly say 650, 620 is what you have to score, which is going to take you more than 2 days. You cannot score faster than 2.5. even with Yashashvi Jaiswal. And when you said, I completely agree with you. I think Jaiswal will stick to his approach, but he also has to keep it in mind that while Janssen will get the bounce like he got in Eden, but the the pace, or the pace at which the ball will come to him, will be nowhere close to what it was in Eden. So he has to be
Yeah.
careful. I think it has to be more caution than aggression for India, because you don't want to lose 2-0. 1-0, I mean, you're already behind. I think 1-0 is the safer thing that you'll go for.
You know how Yashasvi Jaiswal in that match against Mitchell Stark said it's coming too slow. That's going to happen today.
Yes.
Uh, you know, when we say ki in Hindi, we say in cricket ki ball ruk ke aa raha hai. I think that's what's going to be today as well. Yesterday, you know, looking at that pitch, obviously it was very slow. Kuldeep Yadav also came out in that press conference and said that yahan pe it's almost like a road. It's, you know, it's not 100% batting paradise, but at the same time it's not giving much purchase to the spinners as well. It's going to stop and come, it's going to skid a little bit. That's the kind of wicket this is. And believe it or not, these are very difficult conditions to bat in, especially when you have scorecard pressure of 490 plus. Devashish, what are you looking at the pitch today? Are you thinking that it will deteriorate a little bit, give a little more purchase to spinners? What are you thinking?
Gargi, the initial challenge for India will be to play out first session, especially with Marco Jansen and Ian Mulder bowling. I think they will attack the Indian batters. They would put close in fielders. Obviously, they would rather would like to take any opportunity that comes their way. And we know, as Trisha rightly mentioned, that is the manner of in which he was dismissed in the second inning. So you have to be aggressive, but at the same time, you should not throw away your wicket. So I think Yashasvi Jaiswal needs to put a bit of discipline to his game. We saw what happened with him. So both Sitangshu Kotak and Gautam Gambhir, I sent the pictures on match day -1 when three of the players turned up: Sai Sudarshan, Yashasvi Jaiswal, and KL Rahul. Uh, let's not cloud his mind. I would say let's not cloud his mind, because he has been very successful playing the manner in which he did. He has scored hundreds abroad. He has scored hundreds in India. He has scored runs. So give him that free hand and let him play the way he has been successful so far in Test area, rather than clouding his mind. And because we saw almost 20-25 minutes were spent even at Eden Gardens, even here as well. So, I mean, obviously, yes, you are responsible as well, because you are opening the batting. You need a solid start. But I think the key will be KL Rahul. He is the perfect guy in that batting order to play the anchor role, and KL Rahul has done it time and time again. So I think for India to come anywhere close to that total, KL Rahul will have to score a big 100. If KL Rahul score 100, the batting can revolve around KL Rahul. You have a Yashasvi Jaiswal, you have a Rishabh Pant, you have a Dhruv Jurel, who are stroke players. So you have a Jadeja as well. So I think the onus will be on KL Rahul initially to counter the first hour. If India doesn't lose any more than one wicket, I think India can definitely post a big total in the first innings.
You know, the thing is, can we see something like Old Trafford, where Washington Sundar Ravindra Jadeja went without a wicket, KL Rahul Shubman Gill went without a wicket, went a session without a wicket. But Devashish, before I get back to cricket, the place wherever you're standing, internet is amazing.
Yeah.
And you know, you showed the when you were showing the clouds, it almost looked like
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Finally, I have managed that there is no internet glitches. Yesterday for the lunch show, I was holding my tripod and walking when I will get a proper internet. And by the time I realized, I walked almost 1.5 kilometers. I'm like, अरे
Yeah, even in
अभी
the
फिर
post
से
show.
पैदल जाना पड़ेगा इंटरनेट का. हाँ, पोस्ट राइट राइट. हम सोचा कि अरे इंटरनेट का चक्कर में तो मैं पूरा इलाका से बाहर हो रहा हूँ. But luckily,
this is a much better area. And you know, you were showing those.
challenge. Always, it's always been a challenge. It's always Trisha has covered the Women's World Cup. You have covered domestic cricket so many times. It's a challenge to cover the live shows from.
Yeah.
You have to go far away because with the jammers, it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
100%.
First of
But
all,
what I was saying
security.
was,
First of all,
Yeah, first of
security.
all, security. They
They will
have so many
they will
questions
say, "Are
as if we are the ones who were planning
they
something in
say
the against the stadium. Yeah.
I have had multiple arguments with security persons or policemen, and we're not even doing anything. We're just standing and doing our live shows, and then
Yeah.
they will very rudely come up to you and start pushing you or say that go away from here. The team bus is coming. I'm like, I don't want to do any. I mean, what am I going to do? A 5 feet tall woman. What am I going to do if the team bus is going to come here? I have said this to the police. Like, what do you think I'm
and
going to do?
and strange, strange.
I know. Then I have to explain to them, I have nothing to do with the players. I will not run after them. Don't worry. I am a media person. I'm doing my job. Come on, please. Just let
Yeah,
me
I
do the
remember
thing.
I had actually said to the police that you realize, right? I have the accred, so I go to the practice sessions. So if I have to do something to the players, I would rather do it in the practice session because they're right in front of me. Why would I do anything in the team bus? So then the police had started laughing because I got so irritated. I said, "What do you think I'm going to do?" And if I had to do something when they're close to me, when I am able to, if I have to throw stones at them, I'll throw it in the
Both,
practice session. No?
so you were both in England. Oval.
Yeah.
Take the example of Oval, Trisha.
Yeah.
If the players were coming in front of you and
Correct.
boarding the timbers, no one to stop you, no problem. Even across all the venues in England,
Yeah, in
to
Lord,
some extent, I would say Lords,
Devasita,
yes, Lords, but
Lord, do you remember they were coming in cycle and that they were parking the cycle right in front of where we were
Exactly.
doing live. There was no
yes,
security there.
right, no, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
Then
think,
I
but
very
that,
smartly said, Brookie, good morning. I said, he's someone I have coffee with every day.
and when Jofra Archer first came with his
Yes,
cycle, I was standing
yes,
there alone. He came for the second time because he couldn't find the parking spot because you have to put that, what is it
yeah.
called? I forgot the name of the cycle, but you have
And
to put it in its designated parking spot. The first time he came, I was like, he looks quite a lot like Jofra Archer. Then I was like, Jofra Archer? He's,
yeah,
he's going to
it has
play
happened in
at
England a number
Lords.
of times. Then you think, Arey, this guy looks absolutely like Zach Crowley. Oh, he is Zach Crowley. Okay,
Coming
sorry.
on a bike to play at
Yeah,
Lords.
yeah,
Cycle.
exactly. Exactly. They,
So,
they look like people who are there to do a job. Yes, England right
yeah,
now is in a very bad position in Ashes and all that. But I'm just saying, even in Australia, Devashishda, you know, it looks like you have gone to a professional place where they have come to do their job and we have come to do our job. In Indian,
the respect for
in
each other.
Indian grounds, it seems like that we have gone to do something against the players, but also Guwahati. I think the worst thing about places like Guwahati, Vizag is 4 floors you have to walk up to reach the media box. There's no lift. I mean, for you're on mute, Devashita. Unmute.
Oh, sorry. Today in the morning, my Uber driver, I um, um, left my apartment around 6:30 a.m. in the morning, so as to give you the send you the arrival visuals of the team.
Yeah,
The Uber driver stopped me almost 1.5 kilometers away. The
yeah.
road was closed. I had to walk all the way. It's good for me because I'm a diabetic. I had my good morning walk, but with a very heavy bag, ideally.
That's a
But
problem.
why 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 do you harass means someone who has a accurate? You
That's
let them
right.
go. You take
Exactly.
the bag if you have any problem and you let them go.
And even
I
check the
requested
accurate.
so many times. I pleaded, sir, please let me go. He will drop me and come back.
Yeah, and I think then what you have the accurate. People should the police can just check the accurate. They can have the machine where they scan the accurate and let the person
Yes,
go. Every single venue in India, you're walking 2.5 kilometers just to reach a place, then find internet, then do live. And then after all that is finished, 3, 4 floors you're walking up to reach the media box. I mean, in one of the media boxes, I remember, because again, this is, I have said a number of times, Women's World Cup, I was a little unwell. So going upstairs, I told Sneha, that it almost seems like I'm being punished because I'm a media person. Why do I have to do my cardio early morning to reach a place and cover a match? He was like, Didi, don't worry. He do, him being him. But yes, it seems like, they want all of us to be fit.
But huge difference between how, how there is mutual respect between, let's say, management, team players, and the media when we go to England and Australia versus
Yeah,
how it works in India. There's a huge difference in that culture. And I don't know
absolutely.
what's responsible. Is it the culture, fan culture, or whatever is responsible? I'm not sure, I can't pinpoint, but there is a huge difference.
The
Shobhik,
practice facility here, the practice nets here, you can hardly make out what's happening inside.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
But there are iron bars, grills. Then they have few nets. You have to make out who is batting inside. So
Correct.
and we saw everywhere in Australia and England. We were so much close to watching the nets. So I mean, it's a I would say a challenge to cover the practice sessions. Means despite having
Despite
accredited,
having, yes, yes.
Eden
It's
Gardens, you were
almost
meant to sit in the lower tier. Eden
it's
Gardens,
almost
Gargi was there. Gargi was
yeah.
recently covered the first test match. You have to cover the nets from the lower tiers. So,
True.
It's almost like the accurate serves no purpose except the fact that you get access to the press box.
Correct.
That's it.
Correct.
But Shomik has also joined us. Shomik, you joined us in the middle of a rant as to how media is treated in India when it comes to cricket tournaments. But let's get back to the game. We've lost the plot completely. How are you seeing this games pan out? Talk to me about the first session. How do you think KL and Yashashvi will approach this?
More than the first session, Garge, it is about the first hour. It is still a bit foggy and a bit cloudy, but the locals are saying by 10 o'clock things would clear up. So there, I expect there would be some swing. The pitch is offering nothing, sort of, but there would be some swing in the first hour. So that first hour is very, very important. It's a double-edged sword for India in the sense that South Africa are in a very, very comfortable position. They have scored almost 500 runs, and on the face of it, India will have to score nearly 300 to save the follow-on first. And after that, I mean, thinking about winning this game, scoring 330 runs today and then tomorrow, and then on day 5, when the pitch is expected to disintegrate a little, giving South Africa a target of around 170 odd, and then unleashing the spinners, that sounds a little too far fetched at this moment. First, like Kuldeep said yesterday at the press conference, that we have to bat well at least for 5 sessions. I will say 6 sessions, and you have to score 330 runs. I mean, in today and tomorrow. So from that point of view, but I mean, India will have to throw the kitchen sink, but they will have to negotiate the first hour on the third morning, and that is a big challenge. South African bowlers yesterday also, Jan Mulder, he was moving the ball a little, and Marco Janssen, given his height, irrespective of the nature of the pitch, he will extract some bounce because I mean his release point is so high, so he will extract some bounce. So that said, if India are to come back from here and pull off an improbable win, two players, one is Yashasvi Jaiswal, he will have to score a daddy 100 to start with because KL Rahul is a fantastic player in his own right, but if KL Rahul scores 100 or 150, the match will end in a draw. KL Rahul cannot, I mean, KL Rahul cannot play a match winning innings. Simple as that. That's not his game. Yashasvi Jaiswal's natural game, he scored runs at a fair clip. And if he scores a daddy 100, number one. Number two is that given the brittleness of our batting lineup, number three Sai Sudarshan very well, could well be number four Dhruv Jurel. So down the order at number five, uh, Rishabh Pant, he will have to score. He will have to play another serious impact knock. So these are the two players who if India to win this Test match and improbable win from here, these are the two players. Other than that, if they can do it, then another series defeat looms because at best India can take out a draw, and that will give South Africa their first series win in India in 25 years.
Debashish, there is this question that keeps coming up, and Shailesh is asking something similar. Is that India cannot bat on spinning tracks, yet cannot bowl on, somewhat flatter wickets. What are your thoughts when it comes to that assessment?
See, obviously, I think I don't know whether you all will be agree. I think yes, the wicket is a bit slow, but traditionally, if you look at in the past, it means ideally day one and day two of a test match is a very good surface to bat on. Yes, the wicket is slow, understandable, but it will be interesting whether there will be some turn on offer, and how at what speed the South African spinners bowl. That will also be very crucial. What speed they bowl, and getting that perfect line and length. Means, for someone like a Simon Harbour, if he gets that perfect length, then it will be a real challenge for the Indian batters. Yes, considering that despite the fact that it is very slow, so there are runs for the making. Means if you apply yourself, if you stay in the middle, there are runs in the making, and I think today also you will see some big runs being scored. Until and unless something drastic happens and India lose quite a few wickets at a hit.
Trisha, musical being is saying India won Chennai Test against England in 2016 after conceding 477 runs in the first innings. Could India repeat that performance in Guwahati?
They have the potential, if you're asking me, but do they have the temperament is the bigger question, because India has to play a test match skew innings, first innings, where they have to score a 600, a 650. Only then can we think of getting South Africa out cheaply in the third innings, and then getting a victory. So it's not impossible, but it looks like improbable, considering the way the Indian batters have batted in the last few matches. They have shown that the patience part is very less, and which is why we keep saying that KL Rahul is a major wicket, because he is someone who can patiently keep leaving balls. He can, play the ball according to merit, which is something that we have seen a lot of the batters lack. And I think again at number three, Sai Sudarshan, I don't know how secured as a batter he is. So he is someone who will be tentative. So you're 1, 2, 3, 4 somehow, for whatever reason. This time for Shubman's injury is not even. I mean, 1, 2 is settled, but 3, 4 seems like they're not settled at all. They're not settled players in the lineup. At times it's Washi, at times it's Sai Sudarshan, at times it's Karun Nair. So that is also a big problem for when India won the Chennai Test. India had a proper lineup playing for a longish time together. So I think there are a number of factors. Just the number of runs is not what is making us say that draw is the probable result. It is also how India has played in the previous few test matches and how the Guwahati wicket is playing out. That is also extremely important to consider, because scoring 650 runs, saying that is one thing, but scoring it over a period of 1.5 days, because you have to have time enough to bowl South Africa out. And as I'm saying, I just think time will fall short, considering every day at least 10 12 overs will not be bowled because of bad light. So there are a lot of factors which are going to like pushing it towards the draw, the inevitable draw, or if India does not perform well, then loss.
Yes, Shomik.
Gargi, play will start in a few minutes. I will take your leave, but before that, I will take our viewers to last year before the start of the New Zealand series, which eventually ended in a 3-0 whitewash. Gautam Gambhir had said, "We want to be a team that can score 400 in a day, and that can also play out for 2 days to save a test match, right?" So, if you can, when the coach is saying they want to be a team that can score 400 runs in a day, their time is now. This is now. The pitch is good. Show that your team can score 400 runs in a day. You are playing on home patch, so don't come up with excuses like transition. There is no transition on in home test matches. I agree that if you are going to Australia or going to South Africa or England or New Zealand, there could be the transition. There could be the transition factor. But like Chiteshwar Pujara said, and I totally agree with Chiteshwar Pujara, home test, there is no transition in home test matches. So from that point of view, I mean, go and do it. Be game enough and show us that you can score 400 runs in a day.
Absolutely. Last 5 minutes on the show, so I'm going to take some of the comments here. Ojasvi Thapa is asking, I want I want to ask you all, have you ever seen selectors in Ranji and Vijay Hazare and Snats watching the new domestic stars? They are only traveling with the team, and why? Devashish?
What is the problem if the selectors travel? Ajit Agarkar is the selection committee chairman. He always has someone to accompany him, be it a Sundar Das or someone else. He doesn't have time to watch the Ranji Trophy matches. And he makes comment about XYZ players as to what is the update about their fitness. You know who I am referring to. So clearly, he doesn't have time to watch domestic matches, neither the selectors. And there is a, I think, it's time that we need to the selectors go out there and watch matches, the domestic matches. Uh, and what's the point of traveling two selectors on Australia during Australian tour and also during England tour? Two selectors, you were there, Gargi was there, Trisha was there. So, but he is here as in this test match as well. Before the test match, the night before, evening before the test match, he arrived here in Guwahati. I don't know whether he's still here or not. Shomita will be able to give a detail. But clearly, the selectors need to be around to watching the domestic matches. The Ranji Trophy is going on.
Sorry. There's a question here. Where did it go? Okay, Introspect is saying I would still back India to score 550 in 5.5 sessions, but then you're going for a draw. Then you're not going to see India win. If you know the most likely scenario at this point is looking like a draw, unless you do something, pull a rabbit out of the hat. Okay, flyboy for people. Wow, worst coach and bowling coach now India has absolutely no idea. Is there a lot of criticism for the coaching staff here throughout this tour in the New Zealand tour as well? What are your thoughts?
I think, look, when the team is not performing, everybody will be scrutinized, and especially, for fans, it's understandable. When you're not in the system, when you're not understanding what's happening, and when you can't see result over a repetitive period of time, you can't say that they're questioning on the basis of one match or something of that sort. And bowling coach, yes, there are times when even we have discussed, Gargi, that what is Morny Mortal actually doing? What is the plan? What is he talking about? Exactly. There is no, and there is a plan A, that's definite. But what is the plan B? What is the plan C? You cannot forget, and I think Muthuswamy is a good batter. Nobody is doubting that. He has got 9 first-class centuries and all that. But still, you have allowed Marco Jansen to get a 93. So something, you are definitely doing something wrong, or you are not doing something. So yes, the questions are absolutely meant. As far as Gautam Gambhir is concerned, I think fantastic white ball coach. Not 100% sure if he sees white ball and red ball differently. At times, I feel he just sees both the formats as all three formats as cricket. That's it. So he kind of tries to overlap, the same kind of strategies throughout all three formats, which is something that I understand. That if you think of Gautam Gambhir, if you think of the player he was, if you think of how he adjusted his game across formats, you would want better as a coach. So yes, I'm not going to say worst because that's, I think, too much. But yeah, they have got to answer, and especially if they lose this one, I think big questions will be raised.
Shomik, I'll give you the last question. Possibly to
Gargi,
Trish. Yeah.
no, Gargi, before the play is about to start, this my 2 cents about this coach thing. See, these days, this entire coach thing, as far as cricket is concerned, is a bit overrated. Is a bit overrated. Cricket is a captain's game. When Australia were winning everything under John Buchanan, and John Buchanan was the coach, Shane Warne came up with a brilliant quote, and it's a very, very famous quote. He said, "A coach is the one who that takes us from the team hotel to the stadium. That's it." That was a famous quote from Shane Warne. So, coach's role is at this level is a bit overrated, be it here or be it Brendan McCallum with baseball, whatever it is. It is a captain's game on the field. Cricket is a captain's game. You talk to Ian Chappell, you talk to Imran Khan, you talk to any great captain, and they will attest that. So the coach's role is basically at test level behind the scenes. Like Rahul Dravid helped Yashasvi Jaiswal develop behind the scene. When Rahul Dravid was under 19 coach, all these players, Shubman Gill, Washington Sundar, Rishabh Pant, they benefited from their association with Rahul Dravid. He was when he was the under 19 coach. So I don't know how many batsmen Gautam Gambhir has developed over the past 15 odd months. We'll see. Maybe he shall overcome someday. But that's it. That's it.
All right. You dropped a patriotic song there at the end as well. But on that note, we shall overcome. Let's
So,
see if
with that, Gargi, I'm taking your leave because already.
they are also taking our leave. So okay. But let's
Thank
see if
you.
the Indian batting lineup is able to overcome this mammoth target that they have in front of them. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you, Debashish and Shomik. Always lovely to chat with you guys. We'll be back at lunch, so don't forget to join us soon. And at 11, we have a special update on an injury that is looming over the Indian camp. So don't forget to join us then as well. Keep